Wow. Wow. So yeah, as far as what to do or what not to do, you know, when you get a strike, okay? Like, I get this question a lot. And I think you have to gauge every take differently. There's gonna be some takes that you're gonna find where the fish eat it and leave, to where you're not gonna have to do anything. You're not gonna have to set the hook. You're not gonna have to react, because the fish is gonna eat it, and there's generally gonna be line coming out of your reel, okay? And then the fish is gonna be on. The weight of that fish eating the fly and turning is gonna sink that hook in. But then there's those other takes, the ones that are a little softer, that where a fish might eat it and leave it and then come back and eat it again, you know? And I've found that patience is the best thing for anything like this, okay? When in doubt, just let it sit there, okay? If they're eating it, let your rod tip bounce a little bit. You know, let there be some weight there before you just come up. I wait for the weight of the fish to take it, and then once they've really taken it, I generally just lift and come slightly to the side, okay? I don't jam them. You know, the guys that I guide who jam fish instantly, half the time the fish are gone immediately, you know? And I think that in a lot of cases, you know, the fight is won and lost in the first little bit, and if you can chill yourself out from not just instantly jerking a hook out of their mouth, I think the better off you're gonna be. Because if your hooks are sharp, if anybody's ever hooked themselves in the finger, like, you know your hooks are sharp. So if a fish grabs that and turns in any way, shape, or form, a part of that is gonna sink into the meat. And then once they're on, if you wanna give them a little jam, go ahead and do it. But in all honesty, I would rather have a guy who waits a lot longer. I've sat behind a guy and sat there while his rod's just doing this. And these are guys that are really, I mean, they won't come up. They'll look at me and they'll be and waiting for me to say, like, go ahead and lift. And I'll be like, okay, now's a good time to do it. And they lift and the fish is on and doing its stuff, you know? It's really cool. But those guys have been fishing with me for a long time. The times when it's going to be really hard for you to not sit there and let him eat it is if you haven't had a fish eat your fly in a really long time. Like, that your fly could touch a piece of gravel and you'll be, you know, like a dog on point. But patience, you know? We all hope for a midstream grab where they just eat it and start jumping and acting crazy, but that's not it's not realistic as far as having a midstream grab every time. A lot of these grabs that I get are halfway to the inside of our swing, okay? So that's why it's also good to have a good profile of your fly, especially as it comes down below you, okay? So if your fly is straight, which looking like a pencil in the current, okay, there's not a whole lot for that fish to grab onto, okay? He's just seeing the back end of your fly pretty much, you know, in the hook. So there's not a whole lot of meat from the grab onto. Now, okay, let's move the fly. So now you're making it look alive, okay? And now it's got all this area for this fish to grab onto, okay? Now it's seeing the whole profile of the fly, not this, but this, and it looks alive. It looks scared, you know? Because I always want some kind of movement with my presentation, because said nothing in the river or the ocean that's evading a predator just sits there in front of a predator and says, eat me. They swim away because they're scared and they want to get away. So you got to make your fly do as such. And I think if you give your fly profile in the swing, you're going to get harder grabs and the fish is going to have more to grab onto. So there's not all the little short strikes. And it's the hardest place to do that is on the hang down. And hopefully you have enough speed to where you can speed your fly in, so you can get some profiles so they can get a good chance at actually getting a hold of it.
Yeah.